Canada is taking on the Netherlands in a friendly on June 6th as they prepare for the Copa America. It will also be Jesse Marsch's very first match in charge of the Canadian men's national team. So today we are going to preview that match, take a look at what I expect from it, how Jesse may approach the match, take a look at some players to keep an eye on, and of course take a look at starting 11s. So hopefully you guys are excited, and if you are, let's get into the episode now. First things first, what do I expect from this match? Well, I expect some growing pains. I don't think Jesse Marsch and this squad will go into the Netherlands and probably get a result. I think it's going to be very difficult considering that we are the away side. The Netherlands is a fantastic footballing nation. They'll probably, there's a good chance that they may beat us 3-0. But what I want to see from this is how Jesse Marsch has used his time so far, his conversation with the players to try to implement his philosophy. This is what his bread and butter, this is what he's known for, this is what he wants to play. And the Netherlands is a great opportunity. These are two very tough opponents we have coming up against the Netherlands and France that should be a really good trial for what we should expect for Argentina. These are top nations, and the way that Jesse Marsch plays with his pressing, high-line style of football, I'm curious to see how it will play out against one of these sides, especially because he hasn't had a lot of time to work with these players. But I do want to see that. Whether we lose 3-4-0, it doesn't matter. I want to see him try to implement what he's trying to do with this national team and see how it plays out. And then maybe in the France match, switch things up a little bit because France, in my opinion, is a better team against the Netherlands and will probably better replicate what we can expect out of Argentina. So just kind of going in there with an extremely high line, pressing the way that they would, it's probably a recipe for disaster. But the Netherlands in the first match, I do want to see him try to put his style in play, put the players in the positions that he thinks that they'll thrive in, and see what will happen. It's just a great learning experience, and it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for these players to take on a nation like the Netherlands. The other thing I'm keeping an eye on is how will he adapt to the game. Let's say he does play his philosophy, they're pressing, it's high tempo, high line, but the Netherlands, they play through the press, they hit on the counter, they score a couple goals. Let's say they're up 2-0 after 25 minutes. That's where I would really want to see, is he going to play through it? Is he going to continue this high line? Is he going to continue to try to use this opportunity to get the players to play his style? Or does he have a plan B? Does he have a way to switch it up? Maybe they don't play as high as a line. Maybe they sit back a little bit more, but they're already losing. That's where I really want to learn from what Jesse Marsch wants to do. The biggest criticism I saw during his time at Leeds is the fact that he had no plan B. He's honest to the way he wants to play, but I want to see if it changes a little bit with the national team, especially because this is the first match in charge, and there's a major tournament coming up where we're going to have the opportunity to play teams where maybe things aren't going to go right. So if that's the case, how does he adapt? How does he change? And is this national team going to be able to do it? I am also very excited to see what players are going to be Jesse's guys. And I've mentioned a few times a couple players worth keeping an eye on. If you guys have watched me here on One Soccer, you'll know probably two of them I'm going to start with right away. But that is Kyle Hiebert, St. Louis center back / left back. He plays in the Red Bull style. He was mentioned by Jesse Marsch on a podcast, as well as Bombito, who I think is going to be the future center back for this Canadian men's national team. He plays in a very similar system as well in Colorado under Chris Arms, who of course, that Red Bull kind of way. And the reason I want to highlight these two players is because I know it's just a podcast on Jimmy Conrad's Call It What You Want, but he highlighted Hiebert, he highlighted Bombito, and these are two players that play in the philosophy that he knows. They do it week in, week out at club level, and I think they're going to be very important players to this national team. So when I'm going to build a couple different starting 11s here, those two will definitely feature in both of them because they know how Jesse wants to play. That they do it, like I said, it's so important to him when you're coming to a brand new group and you're trying to get players to click. You see that chemistry, you see that way of playing. Those two I think are going to be very important players. It's also worth keeping an eye on potentially Chouanier or maybe Ugbo, because I don't know what Jesse's going to do. I don't know how Jesse is going to line up. It could be a 3-man midfield, and if it is, that's a great opportunity for Chouanier. I think that his pressing ability, his athleticism, he's in good form right now. I think he could be a perfect fit. Recently scored a nice goal as well. And if it's a 2-striker system, which striker? Kyle Aaron had a pretty poor season. However, he has never disappointed for the national team. But could a player like Ike Ugbo, who had a really, really strong season, go in there? Could we also see a Tani Oluwase? Recently got the call-up. He didn't get called into the original 26-man squad. He's been on fire for Minnesota United. He obviously got the attention of Marsch, so much so that they called him into camp. Could he be rewarded with a start? Probably not, but I thought it was a very curious call-ups, so Oluwase is definitely one to keep an eye on. So I'm going to build up a couple starting 11s. One will be in a 4-2-3-1 with that 3-man midfield, and one will be in a 4-4-2 or 4-2-2, and we'll take a look at some of the options. The first starting 11 will be a 4-2-3-1, and both of these systems I think will have the same back four and keeper. I believe the keeper will be Maxime Crepeau, although Dane St. Clair I think has a great opportunity. I think whoever basically gets the start in the Netherlands match will be the keeper going forward, and probably the keeper to start the Copa America. I just think it's Crepeau. I just think it makes more sense. He's kind of next in line, but who knows? Jesse Marsch may be very impressed with Dane St. Clair. He's having a strong season as well. Probably a better season than Crepeau is in Major League Soccer with Minnesota United, so it's really up in the air, but I am going to go with Crepeau. The back four for both of these starting 11s I'm going to build, I think will be the same. Those two players I highlighted, we have Bombito as your right central center back, and we have Hebert going over at left back. He mentioned that Davies will play higher up the pitch. There's no Adekubi. I don't think Larea will go over to the left-hand side. I think Hebert, in the way that he plays, can also shift in to make a back three when need be. I think those two make sense for both of these starting 11s. I'm going with Derek Cornelius. I think he's the better left-footed center back against Kamal Miller, although Miller has the speed for that high line. I just think Cornelius is in fantastic form right now with Malmo, and I think it makes sense, and he could be a good partnership with Bombito, especially because Bombito is fast and has the speed to cover Derek. Over at right back, we have Alistair Johnston, and that's just flat. That is it. It's Johnston at right back, Bombito, Cornelius, the two center backs, Hebert left back. I think that will be the back four for both of these rosters that I'm going to build. We move on to the two defensive midfielders. I have Stéphane Eustaquio. I have Mathieu Chouanière. Again, Eustaquio will be the 6. Chouanière will play more as an 8. He can come back defensively if need be, which means Kone will be the 10. We've seen Kone play at the 10 before for Watford. He can, he can obviously track back. He can press. It's a good little trio there, and it allows this team to play with a 3-man midfield, which I think could be very important going up against nations like the Netherlands, France, Argentina. The two wide players, your right attacking mid will be Tajon Buchanan. Your left attacking mid will be Alphonso Davies. Like I mentioned, Hebert will be great coverage for Davies as he can play as a center back. He's got a lot of defensive abilities. He won't be charging up the pitch too much, but he can definitely cover Davies when he goes forward, which then, of course, leaves the lone striker, which is Jonathan David, a perfect Jesse Marsch striker. Pressing ability, I mean, I'm assuming not maybe against the Netherlands, but when we play nation more our level, you'll see Kone, Davies, David all be able to press. You'll have coverage there from Hebert as well as maybe one of the other midfielders cutting over or Derek Cornelius stepping up. It's a really good little mix. So that is the one starting 11 I'm taking a look at in the 4-2-3-1 system. The other potential look could be that 4-4-2, 4-2-2, however you want to look at it. It's the same back four. Crepeau will be the keeper. Johnston, Bombito, Cornelius, Hebert as the back four. The two midfielders, we lose Chouanière here. It'll be Eustaquio as your 6, Kone as your 8. You have Buchanan out at right mid, Davies at left mid, and then it calls for two strikers. I have Jonathan David, and I'm going to go Ike Ugbo. Just to kind of switch it up, I think that he fits Jesse's system. He can definitely press much better than Kyle Larin is. He's in better form. He's scoring for fun. He was a big reason why Sheffield Wednesday stayed up in the championship. I think it's just a different look. It's maybe a big statement on both of these rosters to leave out your top goal scorer in Kyle Larin, but I think Jesse will kind of come in here and want to put his own flavor on this team, and I think Chouanière and Ugbo could be two big pieces of that. So finally, what are my predictions slash kind of how I see this match going? I do think, like I said, there will be growing pains. I don't think this will be a straightforward match. I just think it'll look a little awkward. Hopefully we build into it a little bit. I'm going to say a 3-1 win for the Netherlands. Comfortable, but like I said, I want to look into more than just the scoreline and how we did. I want to see the way that Jesse Marsch gets his team to line up tactically. I want to see how that high line works. I want to see how they press, and I want to see what a plan B could look like if things go wrong. So let me know down in the comments what you thought of the starting 11s I built. Do you like one more than the other one? Do you think that we will win this game, draw this game? Do you think we'll score a goal? Let me know down in the comments, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub, and we'll see you guys in the watch along. Cheers, friends.